No, I like
Come on,
you.
stay focused. Stay focused
yeah,
on your
sorry.
expectations.
Yeah, girl, you got me started. What did I expect? Yeah, for real though. I really thought that you was gonna hold down the house. My house was gonna stay clean. You was gonna cook all the time. I was gonna have a nice meal, lunch prepared on a regular basis. You be faithful, of course. That's pretty much what I expected, you know. I didn't know, and truth be told, my expectations was, like you said, based off of what I saw at home.
Right.
Other than that, I didn't know what to expect. You know, when you're young and you jump into this marriage thing, you jump in blindly. You really do.
Right.
So that was what I expected.
Well, see, you don't have to jump in blindly if you go and get the book. Somebody should have told me.
Yeah, you do that, you're going to be prepared, man.
Yeah, you can get that book from www.lulu.com. But our expectations, they do come from what we saw growing up. You basically, if you look, for those of you that are listening, if you think about the marriages you've seen growing up, whether it was in your home, your aunties, uncles, cousins, you started forming the expectations you were going to have for your spouse. If your dad wasn't there, you started thinking, well, I want to make sure that my kids grow up with a father.
Right.
And so you have this expectations for your husband. You're thinking about how you want to be happy. How many of those relationships did you see people actually living together but divorced mentally? What did you learn about it? And so that's what we come into our relationship with. And like you said, for both of us, I looked at my dad and that's what I expected you to be. And
vice versa.
Right. You normally look at the person of the opposite sex of you, same sex as your spouse, as to what your expectations are going to be.
Or the very opposite of them.
Or the very opposite, yep. If you didn't like your dad or you had issues with your mom, you're like, well, I know I don't want this type of spouse. So that all plays a part in the desires and the expectations that you have going in. So for those of you that may be new in your marriage or are struggling with different things, when it comes to expectations, go back and look at what you saw growing up and kind of decide if that mentality is having an effect on your marriage now. And so how does it, when you don't have those conversations prior to marriage, baby, how do you think they play out in the marriage?
Ooh. When you don't have the conversation about expectations,
yeah,
it plays out I don't know. It's just on the whim. You wing it, basically. Okay. If you don't have a conversation of what you expect your wife or your husband to do or the roles, then you pretty much wing it on the whim, in my opinion.
I think what I saw for myself, not having that conversation, I feel like if I would have had the conversation, I'm going to tell you what I used to struggle with. I used to struggle with the fact that you wouldn't fix stuff around. That bothered me so bad. You probably do know. Well, like if something was to break down and...
My philosophy, we pay somebody to get it done.
I know. But I figured that out later on. But in my mind, it's like, dang, just figure out how to do it. We don't have to spend no money to pay somebody. Just figure out how to do it. That, oh my God, that bothered the living daylights out of me. But because if I would have told you that up front, if we'd have had that conversation prior to marriage, I would have known that's how you feel.
Right.
And it wouldn't have bothered me so much.
Right.
Did I ever tell you that was my expectation?
No. Negro, you didn't tell me nothing.
I mean, even when we got into it and was having issues.
No, you did not.
So I still never said anything to him about it. No. Although I was irritated, and when something happened, I would just fix it. And the whole time I'm in there doing it, I'm mad because he in there watching TV. Yet he thinking, well, she just need to pay somebody to do it.
Right, why she gonna pay somebody to do it? What you doing?
So when you don't have the conversation up front, you don't know what that person is willing and not willing to do. That's why communication is so important.
It is.
And so how it played out for us, for me, I'm sure for you too, when it came to me and me not living up to your expectations, it's frustrating. Right. You're upset for whatever reason. You're upset about it, and then you have this drawn out process of being mad at your spouse.
Right.
When you could have just talked about it or changed your mindset. Because where I am now, right, I understand that that's just not a strong suit for you or something you care to do.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I know this now, and I had to change my mindset and stop expecting you to do it. Right. And it's like, either you do it, Candace, or pay for somebody to do it. And It's just that simple.
It's that simple.
And I don't get mad about it no more. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? But Don, and that goes both ways.
Right.
Because you frustrated me in some areas. And the crazy part about it, I was mad or upset at you, but I never communicated my expectations of you in this area. And that's crazy. I mean, I for the life of me, I don't understand how in the world did we get married and not discuss our expectations for right. Like, how the hell did we let that happen? Like, are you serious? Yeah. And I think a lot of people do that.
Yes.
A lot of people do that.
Or like we just said, we in the marriage 5 years in, and we still ain't sat down and said,
this
baby,
is what I expect.
Right.
This is what I need from my wife. This is what I need from you. So if you're married and your spouse does not know what you expect of them in all areas of your life and marriage, that's your fault.
That's true.
You can't blame your spouse unless you have said it. Don't be mad at your spouse.
I agree.
Expectations is something you have to communicate with your other one. Well, let me hit you with this one though. Did you, at some point in our marriage, did you ever feel like you wasn't measuring up to my expectations? And if so, how did that make you feel?
Yes. I still, honestly, if you want to be real about it, I still feel like that sometimes now.
Whoa.
We
ain't discussing this. Hold on. Live. This is news breaking. Break it down.
I felt like that. And it is frustrating because sometimes you like, what is it that what more can I do? What do I need to do? And it hurts you if you love that person still,
right?
That you're not measuring up, and I think you feel like you're not measuring up if a person keeps complaining or.
Well, we gonna keep it 100. We keep it 1 million on this show, so the next question, right?
No, I know. So let me finish answering this one before you think about it. So
it's about this. What ways did you feel you wasn't measuring up to me?
Of course, sex.
Oh, hey, okay.
Sex, I feel like oh God. I'm working on it though. I'm working because you just seem like you want it so much. And I'm just like, oh Lord.
How is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing.
Wants and is attracted to his wife to where
that's not the issue, sugar pie. It's not the issue.
Well, what's the issue, sugar pie?
It's
sugar dumpling. What's the issue?
It's just all the time. For me, and I probably can speak for a lot of ladies, I'm gonna say me. We want to give us a chance to miss it. Y'all can do it all the time and it's good. Right. 5 and 6 times a week is a lot.
No, that's not.
At some point, we're just in robot mode. All right, come on. I don't really want to do it, but come on. You want your wife to want to be into it. Of course. We're not going to jump on that. But that's one way I felt like it. Or
we ain't gonna leave that alone.
But
we might need to do another show about sex.
But no, we don't. That was our first show, of course.
We might need to do another one.
So, have you ever felt like that you weren't measuring up?
Oh, of course. And of course, like you say, man, it bothers you. How could it not bother you? And I actually discussed this with you. Matter of fact, I talked about it yesterday when we was just kicking back watching TV. In the sense to where I want to be a good husband.
Right.
You know, my desire is to be a great husband to my wife. I want to make you happy in every way I can possibly make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have to come to realization sometimes you're not. And sometimes as a husband, you just have to put your foot down and be like, look, no, we're not doing that. We're not going here. We're not spending that. We're not doing that. At times, you just have to put your foot down. Right. Because if you don't, and your wife will have you doing things, truth be told, that y'all shouldn't be doing sometimes.
That's not true.
That is true.
Your wife is your helpmate. She knows.
Let me finish. That is very correct. Oh, wait. Stop with this. She knows. But my willingness to just make my wife happy and to please my wife at times, it can hinder you in the relationship at times, and that goes both ways, to where you just want to please your husband or you just want to please your wife, but at times you got to say no, we're not doing this because it's not beneficial for us. So yeah, I mean, I've failed at times where I didn't measure up to your expectations or your needs.
Did you get mad? Did you get angry?
Of course.
At me?
At times in the past, yes, of course I did. Mm-hmm. But looking back at it, I totally understand your frustration. A perfect example. Before I passed my teacher certification test, and I just had to take odd ends, just to try to bring some money in. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really making hardly any money, and we were struggling badly financially. And as a man that ate at me to the core, knowing, okay, my son needed some shoes. Well, we need groceries, and we can't go get it because ultimately I'm not bringing hardly any bread in. Right. That and it will wear on you, and it will cause your frustration, and it cause you to have an attitude and be mad and just really frustrated.
Finances ain't no joke.
Nah, and I was mad at you. Like, why is she mad? Why is she acting like this? When, to be totally honest, I totally get your frustration. And you could have handled it differently in some situations, in a lot of situations, but your frustration was very well warranted. Mm-hmm. It makes sense that you were frustrated. Mm-hmm. Hell, we hungry. We ain't got no food in the house.
Right.
Why wouldn't you be frustrated? And that aided me knowing I couldn't give you what I wanted to give you or what I know you wanted to need. So when you don't meet your spouse's expectations and you're truly in love and want your spouse happy, that will bother you. How could it not?
Right.
Now, if you just don't care, then you need to reevaluate yourself and how you feel about your spouse, in my opinion.
I agree. And I would say, if you're dealing with what we're talking about right now, where you feel like you're not living up to your spouse's expectations or they're not living up to your expectations, it's time to have a conversation.
Right.
And I know these type of topics can sometimes be touchy, and you don't want to be in an argument, or you know it's going to bring up certain type of feelings. Right. But in the best interest of your marriage and your marriage making it, and you're not ending up in divorce court, you got to have those talks. So that's another reason that I'm excited or happy that we do have this show, and I hope that the things that we talk about are initiating conversations, if nothing else.
Right.
Yeah, it can be entertaining at times, but my
Hopefully
hope
all the time, baby.
Yeah, but I hope that it's initiating conversations in a easy way where you can use us. Well, you know what I heard on the couples lounge today? They was talking about expectations. Baby, what you think about this?
Right.
And, you know, it helps.
But don't say that. Ladies, don't say that. Don't say that. You bring that to your husband, he going to have a problem.
Just don't say we need to talk.
Right.
That's
be like, well, baby, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Go about it that way.
Yeah, I heard it on the radio.
Such and such. We need to, like, what?
You gonna get mad because she said
I'm gonna be bothered. I'm gonna probably be bothered about it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, just listen together, and then that way y'all can talk about it after the show if y'all agree or disagree with us. But it's definitely have a conversation, even if it's gonna be tense. I would say pray about it first.
Okay, let's say a spouse, let's say a husband is feeling a certain way about his wife is not living up to his expectations, or he's feeling a certain way that he's not living up to his wife's expectations. How, in your opinion, baby, how should they go about expressing that?
The men?
Yeah, yeah.
I would say
either it's about him or her. How should a person go about expressing that?
I'm gonna say don't come with an attitude. You have to let go of your feelings, get your feelings, because it's not only what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
So when you're getting ready to have that conversation, make sure y'all are in a good place, not coming off of an argument or in an argument. Well, yeah, I expect you to do this, and no, she's not gonna hear it. He's not gonna hear it. Ears are off. They're in defense mode. So you're gonna have to do it at a time where y'all are calm, at peace. Probably just y'all. If you have kids, don't have those type of conversations around your kids because you never know how it's going to go. I always recommend the holding hands deal because I seen it work. I know it work because I've used it. So, and just come to them. If you don't think they're going to receive it, write it down. Put it in their car. They can read it on their way to work. You got to turn it into a sweet. Give me an example of maybe something that a man may come to a woman saying. Okay, we're gonna use sex. I knew it was coming. I don't even know why I asked you that. Sex. So, men, if that is your issue and you don't feel comfortable talking to her about it,
trust me.
Write it down and do like my husband. Tell her how sexy she is, and you just attracted to her. So compliment her.
Do I do that?
And let her, yes.
Do I let you know how good
and let her know how you feel and think about her, and that's the reason.
Do I do
that? Yes, you do, baby.
Oh, okay.
And let her know that's the reason that you are interested. Because you're just attracted to your wife. But you also have to be willing to put in that intimacy and listen to what she has to say as to what she needs.
Flip it. I knew it. It was a setup. God dog it. I should have saw it coming. Intimacy.
So